Hey, today I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a while. I'm going to do a comic book review over the most recent issues of The Amazing Spider-Man. So if you haven't seen my first Amazing Spider-Man, so the first 5 issues, and it was just a simple Spider-Man adventure that was really great. This next one I think is really interesting, and I think I might be against the grain. I haven't done any research on it, obviously, just my own opinion. Uh, my own opinion. It's everything after that. So, spoilers ahead for the comic books if you didn't read it. A basic summary is Hellgate, a cosmic entity that was found in the ground, came out. He was found. He came to New York looking for Prince of Steel Silk, which happened to be Spider-Man. Believe it or not, the story is about him. And he beats his ass. He beats Spider-Man's ass, like just absolutely crushes him, to the point where civilians die and he cannot save them. He can't even do anything to save them. He's just bleeding out as he kills people in front of him. And he gets punched into space, essentially, with Hellgate telling him to get stronger so that way they can fight again. Because Spider-Man is, according to some prophecy, supposed to teach Hellgate how to be strong and how to get stronger. So Hellgate say, hey, you must not be ready yet. You get stronger in space. And Spider-Man's story in space is probably the least interesting part of it, actually. It is more of an emotional story. It goes through his emotions of, I just beat him, I don't want to go back home. He hangs out with Rocket and a few other people. He saves them from captives on a ship. He gets the scientists to try and help him make him stronger. It eventually creates a serum that if he uses it, but the scientist said, hey, as much as I hate you right now, I don't know if I want you to use that because your humanity is something that makes you unique and you might lose it by being stronger. And that was very interesting, and he has just gotten home, it looked like, because I just read issue 21. So it looks like he just got back to Earth. But on Earth, I think, is the best part of the story. Spider-Man is gone, Peter Parker is gone, and nobody knows why or where he went. He's just gone. And so Ben Reilly decides, this is my chance. I get to be Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man. I get to be Peter Parker, because I don't know a lot about Ben Reilly. I hear he's really cool. I've read a few of his stories, mostly the adaptations. So I haven't read any. I have read some. I haven't read a lot of his comic, like the original comics around him. So maybe this is a plot that has already been tied up. But I guess he wanted to feel like what it's like to have his life. To be Peter Parker without like another Peter Parker there, without feeling like, oh, I'm replacing the current Peter Parker. There's no Peter Parker. I'm Peter Parker. I'm Peter Parker, right? And so eventually he wears off and he leaves. He's like, just gotta do a few more days. I gotta finish this project at work, and then I can finally stop being Peter Parker, because he didn't want to be Peter Parker anymore. He writes, I'm Ben Reilly, and I love everything about being Ben Reilly now. Now he just had to experience what it's like to be Peter Parker, so that way he could feel that way, I think, is what it went with it. That's not my favorite part. My favorite part of it is Norman Osborn, and this is the big spoiler. Norman Osborn becomes Spider-Man. After the Sin Eater eats away all of his sins. It eats away Spider-Man's sins. After the Sin Eater cleanses Norman Osborn of his sins, Spider-Man has been taking help from the Green Goblin. Osborn has been not from the Green Goblin. It's Norman Osborn. He is not the Green Goblin anymore. He is just Norman Osborn. At least that's what it sounds like to me. There's no real like goblin voice in his head, because we can see his inner monologue because he's the main character. So there's no real inner monologue. There's no Green Goblin monologue in his head. The internal conflict comes from, Peter told me I am good at being good, that I can be good. I can't let Spider-Man's name be dragged through the mud because he just disappeared. So I'm going to put on the mask, and I'm going to do my best to not leave this city without a Spider-Man. And it's this broken man trying to come to terms with his past and trying to be a better person and save people and save Spider-Man's name. and it's really interesting. It's really good. I think it's written very well in a way that's not just, oh, but we put this guy in the suit. It's like this actual emotional plot that has ties in, and it goes through. The enemy that he fights is goblin slayers. Essentially what I think is his wife at the end. That's an area that I'm not super into because, like I said, I started reading comics fairly recently in relative, but before that I had only read like synopses and watched like the TikToks where they explain what happens in the comics, and so it's kind of spotchy. But I think that's his wife because she says, "Are our grandchildren okay?" And his wife brings on a bunch of people who have been harmed by the Green Goblin and the other goblins like Hobgoblin, all of them. And they make these androids that are going to go out and they kill all of the other goblins, except the Hobgoblin. They have the Hobgoblin pilot the machine because he's no longer has the goblin serum in him anymore, and he hates Norman too. So they use that as like, hey, we need someone who can pilot it to know what this guy's like to kind of take him on. And so he agrees to do that. And so Norman is trying to be a good person, trying to be Spider-Man, how Spider-Man needs to be. He's giving up his own personal life, his own personal connections in order to do it. He's made all of this tech so that way he can look like Spider-Man and be Spider-Man. And all the while he's being hunted by assassins and everything, which is a really cool plot line. At the end, he even shows, like, he gets on a glider at the very end to go save his grandchildren, because Kingsley, the Hobgoblin, is out after his grandchildren, and he gets on a glider to get there faster, and he says, it's time to stop running from my past. I will always be the Green Goblin. And you think it's leading up to this descent back into madness where he kills Kingsley and he's going to be the Green Goblin again, but instead he shows mercy. Like, he absolutely beats the shit out of Kingsley, and he shows mercy because he's in the Spider-Man costume. And I think it's kind of like implied that because he's wearing Peter's colors, he won't kill him. But he tells him, hey, you ever come near my family again, then there won't be mercy. There won't be mercy left for you. And that's really cool. That's really fucking cool. Because he doesn't kill him. That's the coolest part. And then, after that, he learns that it's his wife who put all of this in motion. And there's no descent into madness. There's, okay, I forgive you. And then he passes out, and then he wakes up. And Peter had just gotten home. Makes fun of Norman for having delusions of grandeur, and he says, I tried, Peter. He's like breaking down, saying, I tried. I don't really know what I did, but I tried. I tried to be the person that you thought I could be. And Peter says, you did great. And that's where the last comic book ended. And I'm pretty sure that's like gonna wrap up the Norman Osborn as Spider-Man arc. But as for that arc, I think that story is really good. I think I might be in the minority, but I think that's really good. It might be sullied by like, oh, but we know how it comes after, what comes before, and knowing Spider-Man, we know Green Goblin's going to go evil again. And like, yeah, when you think about it like that, what are the chances he doesn't become the Green Goblin again? He's going to be the Green Goblin again, eventually, at some point. But this story, as a self-contained story, is really good. I really like it. And those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about it, or what you think about other comics, maybe other things I should read or do or talk about. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. I'm really tired. I'm going to bed. Wet Willie.